I have one of those indoor herb gardens, and I realized it was really just collecting dust on my kitchen counter. So one morning in early winter, I decided to pay it some attention and plant some herbs for the winter. So I cleaned it up, I added water, put in some fresh pods, and then decided to sit back and relax with some YouTube. Lo and behold, there was an ad for my Click and Grow garden. Was my phone listening to me? No, it was purely a coincidence, fueled by what's known as frequency bias. Simply having spent the morning planting my garden, I was just more apt to notice the ad. The reality is, I had sown the seeds for that message being targeted to me long before. Hi, I'm Beth Egan. I'm a professor of advertising at Syracuse University, and I believe that we need to stop seeing the sharing of data as evil and see that the intentional sharing of data is crucial to the democratization of the internet. We must give in order to receive when it comes to data sharing. By now, most of us understand that 10% discount we get when we sign up for a company's newsletter, well, that's in exchange for us giving them access to our name and our email address, which then gives them access to our physical or shipping address, our IP address, our phone number, which then documents where we've been. I mean, Waze needs to know where I am in order to take me someplace else. And there's a lot of public information that's out there, things like what kind of car we drive or even our credit score. We have been told that our data is our own and should remain private, but we're not told why or what the internet might look like without it. Much of the argument for opting out of sharing data is that with just a handful of data points, you can be identified as an individual. While that's certainly possible, it's not practical nor useful for marketers. From a practical standpoint, the amount of information that gets produced every day would require enormous resources to make sense of it all. In 2020, we produced over 64 zettabytes of data. That's 6.4 trillion gigabytes. Marketers have had to get smarter about what data they collect and how they use it. I mean, after all, a marketer's ultimate goal is to reach the right person at the right time with the right message. By some estimates, we're exposed to over 3,000 ads each day. That's in addition to all of the other information we're presented with. Our monkey brains simply aren't equipped to make sense of it all. So we've developed mechanisms that tune most of it out, and we only pay attention to that information that's important to our survival. For a marketer to have a prayer of breaking through, we need to make sure that our message is presented in a time and a place that it might have some meaning for you. Advertisers are interested in reaching groups of people who exhibit similar behaviors because they might be interested in purchasing similar products. Attaching personally identifiable information to these data points doesn't help a marketer reach their ultimate goal. That's why the data is anonymized, and algorithms are used to find these tribes, these groups of people who might be interested in purchasing a particular product. So, why is all this crucial to democratizing the internet? What fuels a free and open internet, what gives you access to vital information that you use every day to make important decisions in all aspects of your life, is advertising. The only way for a content creator to make money online is to either sell subscriptions or sell advertising. McKinsey estimates that content creators will lose over $10 billion in revenue due to data loss. Now, think about the last time you went to a website and you needed a subscription to access that content. How did that make you feel? Did you happily reach for your credit card, or even worse, were you stopped short in your tracks because you simply couldn't afford it? If we accept the premise that websites are exploiting our data purely for profit motives, then we have to be willing to live in a world where only those who can afford it have a right to that content. Case in point, the New York Times has built one of the most successful subscription models on the internet today. In 2022, their digital revenue surpassed their print revenue for the first time. Almost 90% of all of their subscribers are digital-only subscribers, yet when COVID hit, they put that content outside of the paywall. Why? Because it was considered crucial information for the public good. If we accept that the cornerstone of a functioning democracy is free and open access to information, then we have to stop defaulting to opting out of all of our data. Don't default to giving it all away either. But when it comes to data sharing, don't default, period. That's an idea I'd like to share on your TED stage.